feeling like a dead duck, spitting out pieces of his broken love. Oh, Aqualung.
Sun streaking cold, an old man wandering lonely, taking time the only way he knows. They're curtain bad as it bends to pick a dog end. It goes down to the bark and warms his feet. Feeling alone, the armies of the road, salvation and a mode and a cup of tea. Aqualung, my friend, don't just start away uneasy. You poor old sod, you see it's only me. Do you still remember a December's foggy freeze, when the ice that clings onto your beard was screaming agony?
Hey, and you snatch your rattling last breaths with deep sea diver sounds, and the flowers bloom like madness in the spring. Sun streaking cold, an old man wandering lonely, taking time the only way he knows. Leg hurting bad as he bends to pick a dog end. He goes down to the bog and warms his feet. Feeling alone, the armies of the road, salvation and a mode and a cup of tea. Aqualung, my friend, don't you start away uneasy. You poor old sod, you see it's only me. Aqualung, my friend, don't just start away uneasy. You poor old sod, you see it's only me. Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with bad intent. Snot running down his nose, greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes. Hey, Aqualung, drying in the cold sun, What